Lots of terabytes. I'm Tara with Tara Simon Studios, and today's a big day, guys. I'm going to be reacting to myself singing Fauzia's How It All Works Out. You've been waiting for this one, and so have I, frankly, because I'm excited to tell you all that happened while filming and how I got through this mammoth of a song. So guys, this is my reaction to myself doing my one-take wonder of How It All Works Out. And for those of you who have not been familiarized with my One Take Wonder series, what that is me singing a cover or an original. It's going to be an original sometime soon. And what I do is I go from start to finish, from the beginning of the song to the very end of the song, no stops in between, okay? And I don't tune it, I don't comp it, it's literally one take. Hence One Take Wonder, so that you can see and hear what it's like for a real singer to actually sing something live all the way through, because everything nowadays is so polished and so perfected. It really gives the wrong impression to those of you guys who are watching as a listener and as a singing hopeful what real singing is actually like, and what it takes and what it really sounds like. So it's my attempt in kind of pulling back the curtain on what reality really is, and sort of, you know, removing the airbrushed model, so to speak, from the vocal equation. So without further ado, here is me singing How It All Works Out.
Goodbye always starts with hello. That's why I don't trust anyone that walks through the door. But I'll throw that out the window. I'm just gonna pretend that this is gonna end on a good note. But it's not a good note, it's never a good note. But I keep my eyes closed.
Okay, so far, this is the point in the song that is the easiest, right? It's the verse. However, I'm focusing right now on style, on centeredness of pitch. I'm focusing on my camera angles, wanting to make sure that it's visually interesting and not just sonically interesting. Some fun facts about the filming of this video. This was my second time filming this song in this space. The first time the footage got lost, so we had to do it again, and in this particular space, the only other time we could get it in and get it booked with a reasonable amount of time was at like 11 o'clock at night. So this particular time was the second shooting attempt of this song, and this particular one that ended up into the edit was the fourth take. The first time, I don't think the volume levels were right. The second time, I forgot a stupid word in the second chorus, or the second verse. The third time, I think I messed up a note or two, and I was like, no, I can do better. And so this was the fourth one take through, all the way through time. And so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna mess up the words. I know the words now. I've been through this before. We're in our second filming session of this. Please, let's get this done. And so I'm thinking like one take, you just have to do it. And so for the first verse, I was thinking style, I was thinking camera angles, I was thinking poise and pace yourself, because you have a long way to go, while not holding too much back to where people would lose interest off the rip in the first 30 seconds. So lots going on in my head while you're hearing this first verse. Here comes the chorus.
I can't see the end, so I pretend it's sweet until it crashes down. I know it's gonna crash down, yeah, but not right now. It's kind of funny how it all works out for me.
Okay, I gotta stop right there, because what you guys don't know this is so bad. What you guys don't know is that I hated that funny note, okay? Hated it. Like when I practiced it at home, because I had to practice, right? When I practiced this at home, that funny note did not come out, and it was not funny, okay? Like not cute, not funny at all. I would crack, I'd be flat. It was like, oh. And so I practiced different ways of using my whole body to involve myself in getting this note out. And not only did I do this, but I also squeezed my butt cheeks to get that note out. Like every time I belted it, it was like, ugh, because it's on an F first, and Fs do become Vs. The non-phonatable consonant can turn into the semi-phonatable V. However, it's just the ripping off of the band-aid of that top note. It's kind of funny how there's just no gracing into that note. It's just boom, up there like that. Okay, so that was really hard for me. Also, what was hard about the chorus for me was the C. I can't see that singing on a hard E like that, I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to open up. I can't see, but I also wanted to do justice to Faouzia and the way that she originally sang it. So I was trying to sound like me, but also nodding in a very intentional way to her stylistic choices. So you'll hear throughout this that I'm trying to do a lot of the Arabic little idiosyncratic bobbles that she does, and I'm really trying to break my voice in the way that she does, not necessarily to just imitate the whole time, but to also be respectful of the way that it was originally intended to be sung. You know, I wanted to put my own spin on it, but not completely just go off the beaten path of what she intended, because I do respect her as a singer. I think she's phenomenal, and I didn't think that the song needed to be changed, really. I just needed to be me within the context of it. And so I didn't go to an open mouth E, and I didn't, you know, really change a whole lot, except for the whistle note, as you'll hear in the second part of it. But this was what was going on for me in the chorus. Let's keep going.
Me, la la la, I don't wanna see it all come crashing down.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna crash down, yeah, but not right now. It's kind of funny how it all works out.
I really liked how I did that, and I kind of went back and forth a lot between doing chest on the funny twice, like the whole way through, or doing head voice, like chest and then head, chest and then head. And I chose head for two reasons. One, I thought it showed more diversity in vocal capability than just belting the funny every single time. And I also listened to her and how she did it live, and she actually in her live performance did the same thing. And so I was like, oh, in the recording she did belt the whole time, but also most likely that was comped, that was tuned and stuff. But I really appreciated that she did something different in her live, and so I wanted to also emulate that as well. I liked also how I kept it straight tone on funny how it all works out, and I kind of slid up to that. It kind of, to me, sounded very contemporary and kind of whimsical, kind of playful there. By the way, it's really difficult to stay on pitch when you go see, so head down into chest. For those of you guys who are practicing that at home, you have to think up when you switch from head to chest, because if you don't, you're going to be flat and too heavy on the way down. So see, if I just let it fall, I go flat. So instead, I go see. I think up as I allow my voice to fall into another registerical placement. So that's something really key for you guys to practice at home. I had to do it too in this song, otherwise I would have been flat. I don't wanna see, or see. See, if I let my voice just go anywhere, it goes flat. So I intentionally have to think up in order to tune that note before it comes out in my chest from head voice. See, and then the see. That's a little break. That's an intentional break. I'm not really going from head to chest there. I'm already in chest. I'm just bobbling it and cracking it real quick. For style, okay? That was a lot. There we go.
Hello always ends with goodbye. How would I know this time's not different if I don't even try?
So I kind of honestly wish that my facial interpretation there was a little different. I did it different in the other takes. I was being a little sassy and a little like, in this one, but I kind of wish I was a little bit more dramatic and was like, how would I know this time? I wish I was like, I don't know. You may have liked it, but I don't really love the way my facial expression ended up there. My voice was fine, but I just kind of felt like, what am I doing here? Why am I making this face? I don't know.
And make believe and spend some time.
That was probably my favorite part in the whole song. And make believe in. I love that vocal bobble that she did, and I also was so happy and proud that I could do it too. And I loved going into a closed mouth vibrato head voice on the sometimes, because that is an exception to the rule, guys. That's definitely singing on a consonant instead of and make believing's fun sometimes, which is also fine, but I think stylistically it's so much more powerful and appropriate to go and make believing's fun sometimes. There's just something about that fits better to me, and I really enjoy doing that. And I never sing on consonants, but in this case, I really liked it.
So I'll just keep pretending this gon' end on a good note, but it's not a good note, it's never a good note. So I keep my eyes closed, pretend like I don't know how this is gonna go, cause it's not a good note, it's a good note.
So for that, it's never a good note, I could have been a little bit more on pitch there. I could have gone down just a little lower. Thing is, again, I'd already sang this 4 times. By this time it was like midnight, and I'd already gone up so high that going down to the good for that one specific little note proved harder the more times I went through the entire song, because the more warm you are, the harder it is to go lower. So the first few times that good was just, man, it was on point. And it wasn't bad here, but I just felt like it's never a good. I really wanted to like kill that bottom part of it, and I just sort of like tapped it instead of slapped it. You know what I mean?
I can't see
That's hard.
the
That
end,
E is
so I
hard.
pretend it's sweet.
Love that.
Until it crashes
That was like a
down.
vocal break for me.
I know it's gonna crash down, yeah, but not right now.
I like that facially.
It's kind of funny how it all works out.
I'm like, literally, I'm like, please, Jesus, let me get this now. It's kind of funny how it all, oh my gosh. And I'm like, can I please, like, squeeze the butt cheeks, get this note out, right? Oh my gosh, so funny.
For me, yeah. I don't wanna
Love the cry there.
see it all come crashing down. I know it's gonna crash down, yeah, but not right now. It's kind of funny how it all works out.
Okay, so now there, I really wanted to swallow to reset my larynx, but I didn't have enough time. So I definitely was glad that I made the choice to go into head voice on that funny to give my voice somewhat of a vocal break there, so that I could then pause and really set myself up for this part, because this part to me was the pinnacle of the hardness of the song. There were parts that were really hard before, but this to me was like the breaking point. Like if I could get past this part in the song, I knew I was pretty much good, you know? So as I prepared vocally in the break, I was also preparing mentally, like, okay, like get your act together, take a second here, think about where you're going, what you're doing, and now let's go execute this. So those were difficult. And they kind of came out in variations. They wasn't always consistent. But for me, and helping you guys if you're wanting to practice vocal bobbles like this, I have this rule where I set the first note like Jello. Okay, so think about it like this. When you're making Jello, it's all watery at first, but it's got to set in the fridge. It's got to sit there for a while. And so that first note to me is like the most important for when I go to then move off of it. If I don't stick that first note long enough, then my voice, my larynx has not had a chance to settle into that note in order to quickly move off of it. It's still sort of like, which way do I go? So if I don't set it, then there's much less likely a chance that I will be crispy with the bobble notes. Now, you could still be crispy. Like, I don't really know what's gonna come out, right? But I have better chances if I set it. Oh, versus oh, where it's just sort of a little messy, yeah? Oh, I find a lot more compartmentalized in its note form than the former. So I tried to set those notes at the beginning both times. Oh, so even on the hold of the second one, I'm very conscientious of how long I'm holding it before I bobble off of it again. So for those of you who are trying it at home, see if that helps you, holding the first part of the note longer before you move off of it. And then if there's a second one after it, like there is in this song, hold that note again before you move off of it again. Okay, so let me talk to you guys about why. Why did I do that? Well, let's just be honest. I like to whistle more than I like to belt these days. And her note to me was beautifully done in her voice, but I just didn't like the way it sat in my note. It sat in my voice as I was practicing it. So I thought, okay, what can I do that's still dissonant against the chord underneath, that's still unresolved like her note was, but that fits in my voice better. Something that may be even a little bit more impressive than the original note. Something that's sort of on brand with what I like to do in my voice, but is also not as costly for me vocal dollar wise. And to me, I always then go to head voice or whistle. So you guys, the cat's out of the bag. When you know my secret, like when I go up high like that, it's because I either am feeling it so much that I have to move higher, or I feel that the note that was originally required of me wasn't who I am. It didn't fit my voice, and so I'm going to change it into something that does. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that I'm less than. It doesn't mean that I'm more than. It just means that I'm different and I'm choosing another option. And I want you guys to know that even though I am intentionally paying homage to Faouzia and all of her phenomenal skills as vocalist and as a songwriter and a musician, I still am covering it myself, and I have the right as a singer to change things as I will, right? And so do you. I'm not saying change everything, but just, little things here and there. So for this particular part in the song, the whistle was the best way to go for me. And I thought, oh, it'll be fun because you guys will like to hear that also. And it's something unexpected. And I was right, because in the comments of the original cover, you guys all were like, oh, 240, wasn't expecting that, because that's 2 minutes and 40 seconds. But as we were going into this, I was thinking, here we go, don't mess it up. Because again, one take, right? So I am 2/3 of the way finished with this song, and wouldn't it be a shame if I had to stop and start all the way over again, which happened to me one of the times. So it would be devastating and be super frustrating. And so I'm thinking, Tara, like, remember who you are, remember how you sing, remember your technique, remember your practice time, and just execute. Do what you've been doing in practice right now. You've got this. I was thinking of those things as I was going through those little vocal bobbles on the way up. I took a deep breath. My stance was proper. My mouth placement was right. I was using my whole body to get up there. I was well supported, and I had a deep enough breath too. And the reason, by the way, that I took a breath between the chest voice and the whistle voice was because I wanted to have a long hold at the top, and whistle for me, especially on an open mouth vowel, holding it that long, it takes more breath from me. I wasn't willing to risk having to go to the top and do it all over again just because I happened to run out of breath for the sake of not breathing. To me, it wasn't worth it. I could do it, like I did when I practiced. I did practice a couple times without breathing, and it just didn't pay off enough for me. Like, I heard it and I'm like, I mean, the fact that I didn't breathe was okay, but I don't think it's impressive enough to warrant the risk that's associated with not breathing. If my whistle sputters out or if it cracks, then I'm just done. I got to do it all over again. And so it wasn't worth it for me. So being a smart singer, weighing your pros and your cons, your risks versus your reward, your ROI, on what you're doing is valid. And I just decided it wasn't worth it for me. I'm going to take the breath there. And I had time to take the breath there too. It wasn't like I was trying to sneak in the breath. So being a smart singer, guys, like using the options that you have, weighing the variables and the pros and the cons beforehand and making your decision so that you have a plan going into it. That's singing smarter, not harder. Okay, let's listen to that one more time just so that you can hear. Okay, we'll go back to the beginning of this section actually. Bobble, hold it, bobble again. Break, 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 break. Break. Straight tone and vibrato, falling off the note.
I can't see.
Very breathy intro there, intentionally.
So I pretend it's sweet until it crashes down. I know it's gonna crash down, yeah, but not right now. It's kind of funny how it all works out for me now.
That was a really hard part for me too. And I know she goes, it's kind of funny how it all works out for. Two reasons why I didn't do that. One, I just felt like it was a lot of the same note for my voice in the place of the song that it was. And I'm like, I need something a little more melodic there. And so I really felt like I wanted my voice to go down and then up and then down and then up. And so this is the melody I decided on, not because hers was bad, just because for me, again, in my voice, the way I was feeling by the end of the song, I wanted something a little lower just for a second to give my voice a little tiny bit of a break. Also, that me, and then going, me love that was rough. That was really hard for me. That was another clench the butt cheeks moment. It was also at the end of the song, so the stakes were super high. Again, if I screwed it up there, I had to go all the way back to the beginning and start it over. So that's why you see me go, like coming in like that for me really, really helped. It just gave me the extra little clench, the extra squeeze that I needed, the reminder to really give the support from my diaphragm with all that I had to get that out properly. And my space was good too. So the extra oomph and the extra pressure for the air to come out of my mouth was also met with the space needed without having it backfire and splat within my throat. So I was really proud of that moment because again, it showed a lot of stamina because I'd already done all the things in the song, right? And then there's these last couple moments of difficulty and I was like, Tara, just don't screw it up, okay? Like get the note out. But the E, again, it was a hard E. And so it wasn't even the oh note that was hard. For me, it was what cost me before. It was that hard E getting into the higher note. If it was an A, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But that E, I just hate singing on closed mouth vowels. It stinks. Let's listen to that one more time.
But not right now. It's kind of funny how it all works out for me now. And I don't want to see
and I was so happy there.
It all come crashing down.
I
know it's gonna crash down. Yeah, but not right now. It's kind of funny how it all works
out. My face. So after this was over, when the camera went off, I just like threw myself on the floor right there on the stage. I was like, nobody asked me to say or sing anything else for like 2 days, you know? I think, I don't know, 12 something at night by that point, and I was just done. I was so done. And so glad that we got it again. So guys, this was my one take wonder of Faouzia's How It All Works Out. She is phenomenal. And if you haven't subscribed to her or shown her some love, you really need to. I just love her. And this to me was a very difficult song to sing. And as a vocalist, I really have a lot of respect for someone who not only plays but writes and sings songs of substance, songs of difficulty, and of high caliber of excellence. And I think Faouzia is someone that represents and personifies all three of those things. And so I hope that you thought I did it justice, and I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. I hope what I said today helped you as you maybe try to learn this song or other songs and use the technique and the vocal pedagogical kind of tips that I gave you today to help you in your vocal journey, because that's really the whole point of this. Some people are like, oh my gosh, how narcissistic are you reacting to yourself? You completely missed the point. It's not about me at all. It's about me showing you in one take what real singing is without any tuning or comping, and then breaking down what I'm doing so that hopefully when you try to do it yourself, you have some direction to go on without spending money on a lesson, or if you're trying to DIY it yourself, hopefully this helps you. That's really my agenda and my goal out of all this. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. Remember today to spread faith, not fear, love, not germs, be a blessing in a stranger's life, because that is how we change the world. And at Tara Simon Studios and as a Terabyte, we are world changers. Also check out the description box below if you're on a vocal journey and you feel like you need some help. We've got amazing links there designed to help you on your vocal journey. We take people from bad to good, good to great, and even great to pro. And with that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
until it crashes down.